name's Akshay. I'm 25 years old, based out of the Bay Area, California. And what I do is pretty much I own a marketing agency specific to the solar industry. So we help solar business owners and solar reps, solar pros, pretty much with their marketing strategy, specifically on the platform of Meta. And how we use Shift really is to manage all the different apps, different tools that we use in our marketing campaigns. So such as Facebook Ads Manager, you have Instagram, and you also have Slack. So there's a couple different tools that we use to pretty much in our day-to-day operations, and Shift really helps us organize all those tools in one specific workspace, and we're able to just kind of easily shift back and forth between whatever we need. And along with that, the most important one is email, because we get email inquiries, client complaints, or client questions, things like that. So very easy to just kind of shift between those two, and also manage our team as well on there. So our team has their own subset of emails, so we're able to just kind of easily log in and just shift through that. So yeah, in that sense, Shift in its own is a very unique and very perfect name for the platform, because you can just shift between everything.
How did you discover Shift initially?
One way or another, I think we got on a quick demo call for Shift, and we pretty much just went over the platform with one of the representatives at Shift, and they were able to kind of show the value. And I think we started with the free trial itself, and we used the platform, and we're like, this is amazing. So we got an account for our other team members, and they use Shift, and it helps them kind of make their life easier because they're handling the heavy day-to-day operations, whereas for us, we're kind of overseeing the operations. We're kind of making bigger business decisions where we don't use it necessarily that heavily. But for our team, I mean, this is very beneficial because they can switch through different tools and different, kind of platforms to perform these operations very easily. And then they would have to use a, general browser where they go from tab to tab and to a different browser. So yeah, that's kind of how we got introduced to Shift. This is pretty much our Slack channel. So this is pretty much what we have initially over here. So how we have it really set up is that I have my two primary emails on top. One is my business email, and one is more personal. And then so this is pretty much how I have it set up on the top here. And then at the bottom, these are the top 4 applications that I use on a day-to-day. So we have Slack, we have Asana, which is the kind of the project management tool. And then below that is LastPass, where we kind of manage all our passwords. And then below that is Facebook. So this is pretty much where I go to see any inquiries from any potential clients who inquired about our services. And then pretty much I can easily just switch back and forth here, and I can message them, as well as message any other kind of friends who are in the industry, and maybe kind of get some quick tips from them. But yeah, this is kind of what the overall structure looks like in terms of how we have it set up. One feature that is my favorite is the ability to add as many tabs as you possibly can. So any platforms that you can think of, like, that you could possibly use for your business, like MailChimp, Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Asana. These things, I mean, Shift offers the integration to a variety of platforms, and you can easily integrate them. You simply just click it, you log in, and it gets added to your workspace itself. And apart from that, I think my second favorite feature would be the ability to create different workspaces. So if you own multiple different businesses, you could have different workspaces within the same Shift account, and you could easily switch in between them. So for example, for a marketing agency, your primary tools would be social media tools, maybe some project management tools, maybe some email. And then let's say if you have a real estate business, which is also something that we're looking to get into, we could create another workspace for that. And that's something where we can have, different applications. We could have Zillow, we could have, Airbnb, we could have, different, it could be set up differently. We could have a different email as well.
One of the things that we sometimes hear from folks who are just discovering Shift or maybe new to Shift is, why would I pay money for this? How is this really any different than just using a browser? And based on your own experience and the benefits you've experienced from using Shift, what would you say to those people if you could talk to them?
First off, I was definitely in those shoes. I was wondering, I could just open up, I can open up a Chrome browser, I can open up a Safari, and I can do the exact same thing. But the problem with that is that you have to switch between tabs, and you might have to open up a whole different browser if it's not compatible with specific applications. And I've had to deal with that personally. But what Shift does is that it takes out that pain of having to shift between different tabs and different accounts. And obviously with with Gmail, like you can have like so many Gmail accounts open at one time. But what Shift does, that makes it really easy for you to just simply click on each one that you want active, one that you don't. And apart from that, like I said, like any application like that you can possibly think of, Shift has it. You can easily set that up into Shift, and it'll just very precisely integrate it for you. So you don't have to worry about the format being different. Actually, like for Slack, for example, Slack is its own platform on its own. But when you put it into Shift, it meshes very well. What your current operations would be for anyone who's looking to get into Shift, you have to think about, okay, like how many tabs do I have open at once when I work every single day? And apart from that, you have to look at how many different browsers do I have open up at the same time? How many different emails do I have to have access to at one time? And if your answer to that is, if it's anywhere from, more than 5, I would say Shift is a very beneficial tool to invest in, simply because you can drag and drop each interface that you want to work with and whatever you don't. And number 2, you can switch between different workplaces. Like I said earlier, if you have different businesses, different verticals, it's really easy to switch between that. And apart from that, if you want to, check Slack for a quick message, you can open up Slack. If you want to check email, you just simply click email, and you could shift between these separate platforms and separate features. It's simply just very easy. It makes it really easy. It's really self-intuitive.